I've taken 2 classes with Professor Kathryn Lofton. The first class I took with her was called Approaches to the Study of Religion, and the second class I took with her was called Sexuality and Religion. And she was also my senior thesis advisor, so I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with her on multiple different occasions. One of my most important moments academically happened in her class, in the first class that I took with her. She really encourages her students to be bold in their writing, be bold with their arguments, to take a stand, to take risks. And this is something that sometimes Yale students aren't used to doing because we're very, very good at finding out what our professors want from us and then delivering exactly that. But Professor Lofton really encouraged us to be passionate about our writing, care about our arguments, and not just about what the professor wanted. And so the first time that I really wrote a paper because I cared about what I was saying and I was really passionate about my argument without worrying about what grade I was going to get was in her class. And so that was a big, important moment for me academically.
One of the highlights in my experience as a Yale student has been taking 2 back-to-back seminars, basically part of a year-long course taught by Bryan Starr, which are his seminars in public schools and public education. In the fall, I took his course on politics and public schools, and this semester I've taken his public schools and public policy seminar. And something that I've really appreciated about both of those courses is just the crazy amount of dedication he puts into compiling the materials, organizing the class, and focusing as much on the students' experiences with one another, their engagement with the material in the course, as well as their interaction with the professor. I think something that's really a strength of Professor Starr is his ability to focus on pedagogy as much as the actual material that we learn in the class. The course is extremely well structured. Each class period we are sent, right before the class period, we're sent an agenda for the day, a protocol as he calls it. The most rewarding thing has been to be a part of what Professor Starr calls this community of learners. He really cultivates a sense of camaraderie in the classroom and encourages students to bring their highest potential in every class period. And I think something that's true of him as a professor, that's been uniquely true in my experience here, is that he inspires students to motivate themselves by example. He also encourages students to bring their own experience to the table in a pretty unique way, and he compiles that information for us at the beginning of each class, giving us kind of little spiels about what each student has done in the realm of education politics or policy, so we can know where our peers stand and be inspired by one another.
I took 2 classes with Professor Davis, Wealth and Poverty in Modern China and Civic Life in Modern China. Professor Davis was the first professor in my major who taught me actual research skills. What to look up, how to look it up, what databases to use, what journals were reliable and helpful. So every major paper I've written since then in my major in East Asian Studies was really based off of what Professor Davis taught me in those 2 classes.
One day I had to be a discussion starter for a literature section. We were studying Wordsworth, and I had gone in not really knowing what was going to happen. It was very unpredictable. My professor sat me down for office hours and we went through the poem, The Two April Mornings, and I was very confused, and he said, you know, keep reading and slow down and really go through the poem and make sure that you're picking up everything. So I went into the discussion not knowing what to expect at all, and it was just an incredible experience. My peers helped me along. They'd have that little twinkle in their eyes when they had feedback to my questions, and you know, that kind of, I got your back, like don't worry, it's going to be okay. And conversation just flowed so naturally, and all these great ideas bounced off of one another, which is one of what I think is genuinely great about small sections here at Yale in general. And the conversation flowed and it made sense, and at one point during the section I sat back. I didn't have to say anything. My professor would occasionally interject to you know, help supplement our opinions, and I remember thinking to myself and seeing all these excited faces around me that I could imagine myself doing this for a very long period of time and potentially the rest of my life. Now that I'm out of the euphoria of that section, I don't know if academia is still the path for me, but I'm very grateful that the classroom was able to give me that ground for such an incredible, blissful moment, and that I was able to reach that point my first semester.
So I've never actually taken a class with Eric, but I've been working with him for about 3.5 years now. I came to him as a freshman looking for a research project, and he paired me up with one of his graduate students, Aaron. And over the years, he's given me a longer leash as I've earned it, and I don't think I could have asked for a better professor here. He knows exactly how much to show you to inspire you, but not enough to sort of daunt you in the process. It's just a testament to the kind of community he supports in his lab and the kind of people he brings in and teaches. To Eric, I just want to say thank you for supporting me and my goals of continuing to do research with medicine going on next year, and thanks for all the things you've had to teach me and all the time that you've spent with me.